And a good Wednesday evening from the Varsity Aces. My name is Greg Tartaglia, here to host Varsity Aces Live for this Wednesday, September 9th of 2020 edition of the show. It's going to be an all-Greg edition of the show. Darren Cooper is off this week, so I will be joined by Greg Mattura, who is one of our football writers. We're all football writers, technically, and that's why we're going to be talking some football today. The season less than a month away from kicking off, and we have two stars of the Dwight Morrow football team in Englewood, the quarterback, defensive back, Jalen Hoyle, and the offensive defensive line, Veron Garrison. First, welcome, gentlemen. Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Big news recently. Actually, both are committed to Division I colleges. Veron was a little more recently. Jalen, though, has known for, I think, quite a while that he's going to Virginia Tech. He's going to play defensive back for the Hokies. That's what he was recruited for. He's also an outstanding quarterback, there you see, for Dwight Morrow, and he has got the team on the move. They're going to be in the Ivy Division this year, something else we'll touch on. But there you see Virginia Tech planning to be a Hokie. And Veron, actually, both of you are multi-sport because you also play football and track. Veron is headed to Georgetown. He's going to be a defensive lineman there for the Hoyas, but multi-talented, as we mentioned, because he also owns the Dwight Morrow school record in the shot put. I think you told me earlier, you know what, I'll let you say, Veron, what's the distance?
When I broke the record, I threw 54 feet 6 inches.
54, okay.
54 feet 4 inches. But my record is I broke my record again. My personal best is 55 feet 3 inches.
Right. Your PR is 55.3. I think that was the one that we had. Regardless, we're glad to have you both on the show, and we're glad to be talking football because, like we said, kickoff less than a month away. Preparations this summer have been unlike any other year because of COVID and everything that's going on with the quarantine and the pandemic. Right now, we're in the period, this 2-week period of no contact mandated by the NJSIA. Players don't have contact with the coaches. There are no team activities. I'll start with Jalen first, and then Veron, if you want to answer. How ready are you guys, maybe for lack of a better term, to kind of get through this period and just get back on that football field?
Physically, I feel like I'm ready in like all aspects. I'm ready to come back for the season. Mentally, like it's going to be tough coming back because we have a shorter period of time to get ready for the season, like with my teammates. But I feel like me and my teammates are ready to play.
Veron, your thoughts?
Same thing. As long as we stay mentally prepared, and when we have that 2 weeks before our first game, we start on the 17th. So, and as long as we get that chemistry, physically, I feel like we're ready as well. But as long as we get that chemistry and we stay mentally focused, I feel like that we'll be ready.
That's right. Practice for Dwight Morrow starts a week from tomorrow. It's allowed to start Monday for all teams. And I think, Greg, Friday, let's see if we can say this properly, heat acclimatization is on Friday, yes?
Yes, thank you very much for pronouncing that on my behalf. I've been flubbing that routinely the last several days. Well, gentlemen, welcome. And, my first question to both of you, and we'll start with Veron, if you'd like to go first, since you're the lineman, you're going to lead the way. Talk about the emotions that you've had to go through these last couple of months, especially as you have not been able to gather with your teammates, and then talk about your thoughts that you will be able to finally gather together as a team, as Greg said, on September 17th. Again, Veron, we'll start with you.
Well, it's been very frustrating not to be able to get on the field with my teammates. Everything keeps getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. So it's been really frustrating. All we could do is just work out and do our Zooms and everything that we can to be prepared before the season starts. So once we're ready to get on the field, once we can get on the field, I'll be really excited. I'll be really happy to start playing with my team again and get the season going.
Jalen, over to you.
Same thing as Veron said, just like having different dates saying we're going to start and then we don't start and it gets pushed back. Like you have mixed emotions about it, but I think when the time comes, we're going to be so excited and like we're going to just ball out.
Jalen, we'll start with you now. Next question, and that is, how have you guys been in contact with each other? What kind of support have you been able to give each other? I'm sure you're on the phone with each other talking. In addition to the Zoom meetings, could the two of you talk about that?
Like I know a lot of the skill guys and things like that. Like since I probably like lead the skills and like most things, we go down to the field and like our field near our homes, and we all just go there and work out and just push each other to get better. We're not doing so much plays. We're just working on our skills just so we could fit anywhere our coaches need us at. We could play anywhere they put us. That's really it.
Veron, over to you.
We do a lot of Zooms, so we can get try to get our plays down and everything, and we do a lot of group FaceTimes, and also the line we go down to the field as well to work on our craft, all the feet work, all that hand placement, everything like that, power, speed, agility, everything that we can do to just get ready for the season.
Let me tell you, those Zooms are good preparation, especially for a night like tonight. This is Varsity Aces Live. We're happy to be joined by the Dwight Morrow football seniors, two of them. And I guess I have to go to Jalen for the next question. And Greg, you've written about, stories about parents and all the things and the ways they have to change kind of the flow of everything just because of what's going on with the pandemic. Jalen, one of your parents just happens to be the coach. So what's that been like, coordinating with him? He's still got his job to do. You've been doing school virtually, and I think Dwight Morrow is virtual, throughout the year. So, how has the pandemic affected the dynamic between you and your dad/coach?
It doesn't affect it really much because we talk about football a lot at home. So in aspects of that, it doesn't really affect it that much. But I would say that we're not out there physically doing anything because my dad, they're working me out and things like that. That might be against the rules, so we try to stay away from that and things like that. But at home, we still talk football all the time, so it doesn't really affect the mental part of it. Maybe the physical.
And Greg, you might have more questions on that because
I always have more questions though when it comes to sports. No classroom questions though. Remember, guys. What are your thoughts on having such a short amount of time? Again, even teams who are starting on Friday with conditioning will only have 21 days. You'll have a few days less than that. What are your thoughts about how long it will take you, or rather how short you're going to be able to have to get ready for a season that can open on October 2nd? Veron, we'll start with you.
It's really frustrating to know that your opponents are starting before you and they can get on the field. But I said we got to stay mentally focused and we got to mentally challenge ourselves to be ready for whenever possible. So we just got to stay ready so we don't have to get ready.
Jalen, you're up.
I just feel like you got to adapt to your situation. Some things you just can't control. So all we can control is when we get out there as a team, we just stay locked in during practices and don't waste no time because we really don't have time to waste to get on the field and beat our opponent.
You're getting into my next question. I'm doing a story that's going to run online Friday about the challenges that administrators, coaches, and even the players face in only having 3 weeks or less to get ready for the start of the season. One coach talked about how you really have to have a no-nonsense approach once you step on the field. There can't be any joking around like maybe there could have been in years past when you had a lot more time because you're starting in mid-September rather than in August. So your thoughts on how the players are going to have to approach those early practices, especially. Jalen, we'll start with you.
I just feel being leaders on the team, me, Veron, a couple other guys, we just have to keep the players in check. And then while the coaches are coaching, everybody has to be locked in and focused on everything that you have to do. And just make sure when you go home, and it's not even so much at practice, you have to make sure you're watching your film and doing things like that. So it'll help you translate on the field faster because you have to learn way faster than we ever before in any years of high school.
We're going to another idea that just happened today, and that is that Teaneck High School, not too far from you, chose to reinstate fall sports. Multiple schools in the last week or so around the state have chosen to reinstate their fall sports programs. How grateful are the two of you to be at programs that stuck with it and in a state that has continued to stick with it as compared to a state like Connecticut, which several days ago canceled its fall sports programs? Veron, we'll start with you.
We're very grateful just to know that we're going to have a season no matter how much it gets pushed back. We're just glad that we can have a season. I know some people that I know and some friends that go to Teaneck that played football. I know how upset they were. So I'm really glad that other teams have been reopening because I know that how frustrated we are by just getting pushed back. So I couldn't even imagine how frustrated other people are that they're not even playing at all. Well, they weren't going to be playing at all. So I'm just glad that they are able to be able to play, because I know some people need a season. Some people want to play, just get on the field. But so I'm very grateful. The whole team as a whole, we're very grateful.
Jalen?
Personally, I'm grateful because this will be my last time being home and be able to play in front of like people from my hometown and things like that. And I talk to people that's going to Virginia Tech and other states. I know they're very frustrated that they're not going to get to have their senior year, and I'm happy for the other people that like TNEC that's allowing them to have their senior year, especially the guys that might be on the like edge of getting a scholarship somewhere to go to school.
That was great because Greg sort of was thinking the same thing I was with that question. You know, the two of the schools that dropped sports, or at least, you know, canceled for the fall, were Leonia, TNEC, both your next door neighbors. And obviously you've heard, you know, you hear what's going on and going around. One of the other, I guess, things that's going on with TNEC, like Dwight Morrow, they're going to be moving into the Ivy Division of the Super Football Conference this year. I have to double check the schedule. Can't remember if you play them or not. But I do remember talking to Coach Joe Hoyle in the preseason for the State of the Program story. They seem very excited about the possibility of what Dwight Morrow could maybe do in the Ivy Division. It's for lack of a better term, for teams that are kind of up and coming, need sort of a boost, you know, a little more level playing field where you don't have to play, let's see, Ramapo and, you know, Bergen and all those big mega schools. But this seems like it could be a really good positive thing for Dwight Morrow. I'll ask you first, Veron, what are your thoughts about going into an Ivy Division where you really can kind of show your stuff, can you not?
It's a good feeling going in, but we don't want to think less of anything or anyone or any team. We're not going to push back, and we're not going to take our foot off the gas pedal. We're not doing that just because we got moved into a different division. So we're not going to underestimate any of these teams. We're still going to play just as we would in a different division, a harder division, because we just want to compete and play.
Jalen, do you share your dad's enthusiasm?
Yeah, definitely. Personally, I feel like the league is great for us, but we don't want to settle and stay in this league. Like, we want the kids, the juniors, and the sophomores to be able to go back in the league with Ramapo. Because I feel like kids from Englewood could compete with anybody in the state. So we don't want to just settle and stay in the Ivy League. We want to show people in the Ivy League that we're good enough to compete with them and compete with the bigger schools too.
And you look at someone graduated the program, I almost called him Marius Thomas, Juwan Winfrey, a couple years ago. Actually, it was last year. He made the Denver Broncos, and you know he got some playing time there, a little bit here and there. But to see someone from your home city make it to the NFL, you know, what sort of inspiration has that provided for you guys? Jalen first.
It definitely motivates me personally. Like, me and Juwan have a good relationship. I talk to him all the time. Like, he motivates me in just showing that, like, a kid from the same position I've been in, went to the same high school, done the same thing I've done, and went on to the next level and excelled. So I feel like if he could do it, why can't I?
And Veron,
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Let's have Veron take a swing at that question.
Also, it's the same thing. If you see someone else that from our hometown and went to the same high school and went through the same program, you see that they made it, and you think to yourself, well, if they can do it, if I work just as hard, if I stay in check and do what I got to do, that I can make it there. I can make it as well. So it's just a lot of motivation. It just proves to other people that if he can do it, you can do it.
My next question would be, how much more challenging has it been over the summer, particularly the last couple of weeks, as coaches are telling you to be smart, to not go to large gatherings, to stay away from parties, to, you know, especially indoor gatherings? How has that experience been for teenagers who are probably, you know, are certainly not used to having to go through that? Jalen, what with you?
It's kind of hard because, like, you feel like you have to, like, grow up and, like, mature a little bit faster because you can't go and do things that, like, a normal regular student at your school might be doing. So, like, it's kind of hard, but, like, that's the sacrifices that come with, like, being a student athlete. So it's really just adapting and just knowing what you have to do.
Veron?
The same. It gets hard at times, but you know, like, what the risk is. If anything happened, you know that you got to social distance and everything. So you know you can't be doing anything crazy. Like Jalen said, that's just what you got to go through. So you just got to do what you got to do, and so we can have a season. So it's nothing to take, no reason to take the chance.
And those are the types of things you do to benefit your team, but also it's kind of been a benefit to you because you've both been recruited Division I. And I guess we have to start in this case with Veron. You just committed over the weekend. You tweeted it out. Congratulations on Georgetown. How did you arrive at that? And, even looking ahead, what is Georgetown? I actually don't know if they're Patriot League or what league they're in. Does it look like they'll have a football season? And, what do you see from the Hoyas going forward?
Well, they're going to have a season in the spring. So, and what led me to them, the coaches and the staff making me feel like a part of their family and a part of their culture is just made me made my decision. And I had it down to I had 4 offers. I had it down to 2 schools. So Georgetown just made me feel wanted and it made me feel a part of their family, part of the culture. Their education's amazing also. So I can't not look at that standpoint. I'm a student athlete, students first. So it's just that's what made me come down to it, and the coaches and everything, the staff. I just loved it.
What are you interested in studying?
Marketing.
Okay, so marketing for you and Virginia Tech. You get to be a Hokie. I guess we'll start with studies with Jalen. What are you most interested in studying first, in addition to stepping on the football field?
I want to study in sports management, become like a sports agent.
But obviously, we were talking before the show, and you give me scouting reports on players you watch. You watch a lot of defensive backs, especially in the NFL. That kicks off this weekend, by the way. What did you see at Virginia Tech in their football team that really made you want to go there? And what else about it kind of drew you to end up in, Blacksburg, Virginia?
The coaching staff and just how they make me feel part of their family. Like I never felt like they wanted me for my talent. They wanted me because of the person that I am. And just looking at the history of the defensive backs going to the NFL, because that's my goal that I want to reach. And the people that they send to the NFL, they do it year in and year out. So that just really attracted me to there.
Who are you going to be watching most closely when this pro football weekend kicks off?
I'm going to be watching Tre'Davious White a lot, Jamal Adams, and Jalen Ramsey a lot.
Rams are getting a new start with the Rams. So, Greg, any more thoughts for you?
Of course, again, I never have enough questions that I can ask. If you are going to be watching NFL football this weekend, is there anything that you think that you can take out of watching a game or multiple games vis-a-vis the pandemic that you can carry with you into your high school football season? Jalen, we'll start with you.
Definitely. You could always watch football and learn something different. You could just watch how somebody comes down for a tackle, watch how they're just reading a quarterback and things like that. So personally, for me, I just like to watch how I like to see what the defensive back seen on why he made that play. So that's how I watch when I watch football.
Veron?
Same, Jalen. You can always learn more from watching the NFL, watching the games, just watching all the linemen, the defensive linemen, especially for me, Aaron Donald, Chris Jones, Cam Hayward, all of them. So you can take anything just as little as hand placement, and you can try to put that into your craft and try to take their technique and try to incorporate it into your own style and everything. So you just learn a lot from little things. It's little things.
We learn from you fellas too, and it's a pleasure having you on the show. And it's good to be talking football again, is it not? Because the high school season in New Jersey kicks off less than a month of now. Veron Garrison, Georgetown commitment, Jalen Hoyle, the Virginia Tech commitment, will be leading the Dwight Morrow football team onto the field this fall. Gentlemen, good luck this season, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
And Greg, thanks for joining us on the show too. We had a nice, fun all Greg's edition. Any final thoughts from you? What are you most looking forward to covering when we finally get this football season going?
Again, on Friday, September 11th, we have the heat acclimatization gatherings. There will be temperature checks, and I'm crossing my fingers that that in that day and in the coming days that the teenagers stayed safe and stayed fortunate and lucky, and they passed their temperature checks, and they have a terrific preseason, and we move towards a season opener on October 2nd.
We wish all that for our varsity football players. And we wish the best of health for all of the varsity athletes. And we are Varsity Aces Live. For Greg Mattura, I'm Greg Tartaglia. Thanks again to our guests from the Dwight Morrow football team, Jalen Hoyle and Veron Garrison. We will speak with you again next Wednesday night on Varsity Aces Live. Please do take a moment to remember a 9/11 when a Friday rolls around. And thank you for joining us tonight. Have a good night.